Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're reviewing a Toyota Yaris Cross Hybrid. This particular model is in the limited variant, which if you are looking brand new is quite expensive. You're looking at $45,000 in New Zealand dollars. So this is Toyota's answer to the small SUV segment. So you're comparing to a Mazda CX-3, Kia Stonic, those sort of cars. Is a little bit pricey, but you are getting the hybrid powertrain. We obviously in New Zealand we don't get a CX-3 hybrid. You sort of be looking at the CX-30 with the mild hybrid, which isn't really a hybrid and doesn't really do much in fuel consumption. So let's take a look at it. So I don't know, first of all, the looks. I personally think it looks like quite a good looking little car. I don't know what everyone else thinks. It doesn't really look anything like the Yaris is the hatchback, but it's quite a good looking little car. Not sure about the interior, which we will get back to. So under the bonnet we have Toyota's 1.5 petrol paired to 3-cylinder, paired to a hybrid powertrain, and of course CVT transmission. So we'll take a look at the boot. It's electric tailgate being the limited model. In here we have 314 litres of boot capacity. If it is a non-hybrid you're looking at 390. Not a massive boot, but it is quite good. You can adjust it. You have storage under there if you want. There's currently some chairs, camping chairs under there. Oh, pop that back into place so it doesn't rattle around. And push the button up here. Alloy wheels, we have 18-inch alloy wheels on there. I believe the GX comes with 16s or 17s. We'll have a look at the interior. Now one thing, I haven't driven it very far, but I did notice trying to get comfortable, the seats, electronic seats are quite different to use. Took me a little while. I thought that one would be to move it forward and back, but it doesn't, only tilts up and down, which is height adjustment, and there's to recline it there. There is no lumbar support, so if you are into getting comfy, maybe you want to take it for a good drive to make sure that you're happy with it. So let's go take a look at the interior. So it's not a bad place to be. Quite good features. One thing it feels like is Toyota of almost 20 years ago. This feels really tacky. Call me fussy, but just don't know. It just doesn't look very right compared to like the Toyota Corolla, RAV4. They just have real nice build quality. This just don't know. It feels put together well, but just lots of hard plastic. Quite basic inside for $45,000 anyway. So we'll start it up. Window wipers going. So we have a heads-up display there. Not sure if you can see it. It's nice and easy to see. The touchscreen is a little bit, well, average to be honest. Being of this era, being a 2021, this particular one, it doesn't have Android or Apple CarPlay. So you have to rely on Toyota's maps, which I'm sure you can get it updated with them, but it's never going to be as good as Google Maps. Quite average to use, to be honest. Not very simple, I'm personally finding. There might be some people that would, argue with that. Information, you can bring up your hybrid system in here, see what you're using. And yeah, other than that, it's pretty basic. Of course, you've got Bluetooth audio. We do have a reverse camera. It's pretty good quality. The 360 camera's a bit average, to be completely honest. The climate air conditioning. And see, even your heated seats, I find it just feels almost like an afterthought. They do work well, I'll give it that though. And plenty of storage in here. Get a bit for your phone. No armrest, I find that, I don't know, I'm used to a car with an armrest. Maybe I'm just sort of a lazy driver. So if you are looking at one, definitely take it for a drive. And, no lumbar support, no armrest. I don't know, I find it sort of, those things are quite important to me, but what do I know? Down here we have your drive mode. So you can switch between, comes up on there, eco, power, normal. So we'll put in eco, I'm sure we'll put in powered when we do the 0 to 100. Your electronic stability control and your EV mode. Quite easy to use Toyota's hybrid system. I do find it a little bit fussy, being it is only a small hybrid battery. You can't go pushing it all the time, and it depends on how well topped up the battery is. Auto hold and electric handbrake, when if you put it in drive, it automatically disengages, which is quite handy. Down here we have, you can open your tailgate from here. You have your view camera, so if we push that, we'll bring up the reverse camera and your 360 camera. Or just if you don't want to put in reverse. And your, I have to open the door, sorry. Auto high beam. And your light adjustment here. We have power folding mirrors, obviously electric windows, and this is your display here. Now, it is quite easy to use. You can control it with the steering wheel buttons on here. You have your Bluetooth hands-free, and you can adjust what information you want displayed. So you can bring up your radio, you bring up your hybrid powertrain, how it's running there. You can adjust your safety systems there, and you bring up your navigation somewhere. It does come up on there. So I'll leave it on there. Total average 4.1 litres per 100, very economical, and we'll take it for a drive soon. On here you have your adaptive cruise control, your adjustments for your spacing, how far apart you want to be. Lane departure warning, it's quite annoying to be honest, so we will go ahead and turn that off. There we go. So it's come off on there. And you can toggle, I think it's radio stations. Right. So let's take it for a drive and see how it goes. Right, so driving the Toyota Yaris Cross Hybrid. Just adjust that. Hopefully that's straight. Right, so we'll just make some adjustments. So I am 6'2". It's quite a noisy electric motor on the seats. And it feels all good. Plenty of adjustment, telescopic steering wheel. It is all good. So no engine starting, just turn around up here. Good turning lock. I have driven this a little bit before, and I was impressed with how it drove. I just thought it was a bit of a shame with the interior. Personally, for $45,000, my initial thoughts was a Mazda CX-3 feels a lot nicer place to be. Even a Kia Stonic. And in New Zealand, you can get a near top of the line model, an LXT, which sits behind the GT line. And they're currently about $30,000. There's a few specials coming and going, but they sort of sit between $33,000 and $30,000. Non-hybrid, of course, but still economical. I've driven one of those and I got around 5 litres per 100, 5.5, sort of sitting around there. And the interior was a lot nicer place to be. But in saying that, Toyota reliability resale is pretty much second to none, really, so you do have to factor that in as well. These came with a 5-year warranty and 8 years on the battery, 5 years, 150,000, and fixed price servicing, so $250 a service for 5 years. So that is quite good peace of mind. You know, you're not going to get lumped with the $800 bill when they all of a sudden want to replace a few components, or, you know, do a big service on it. I might put on the, so you can see if you're looking at buying one, how often you're going to be driving around in your electric, because that's probably going to be important for you if you are wanting to buy one of these, is what is it like real world driving and how often the engine's going to be on, etc. So you can hear a bit of a rumble with that 3-cylinder when the revs get a bit higher, but still really smooth. Doesn't feel underpowered. When I saw, I think the petrol engine from memory's got 90 horsepower, 89 horsepower, and I thought, oh, it might be a bit slow, but definitely doesn't feel like that. That's not my first thought at all. Drives really well. Singing 100 kilometers an hour. I don't even know. I'm doing about 2,000 RPM, so that CVT's doing a great job. First, no rattles. I mean, that does seem to be a thing of the past in manufacturers these days. Seems to drive, it's nice and quiet. Bit of wind noise coming off the wing mirror if I'm being pedantic, but it's nothing, nothing super bad. So right now we're in electric only mode, as you can see there. And now the engine's on. So it is intermittent if you're new to driving the Toyota hybrids. I actually find them really good. They're nice and simple to use. Obviously they're not like a plug-in hybrid, but they do just help keep it fuel.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
I did forget about that. I find that really annoying. It's 80k speed limit here. I've crept up to about 86, 87, and that comes in and nags you. I don't know how to turn it off. I'm sure someone out there might know how to turn it off, but I do not know, and it drives me nuts.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
Oops, I sped up again. So it's kind of like having another wife in the car, even if you're by yourself. I like how the speed limit does come up on there though, so it's got must have sign recognition, so which is quite nice if you're in a rural area like this and you're not sure what the speed limit is. .65k corner, go around it at 80, see what it's like. No trouble at all, dropped a little bit actually, but handling is really nice and flat, no real body roll. We'll see what the pickup's like. We'll slow down a bit and see what it's like when you put your foot down. There's a bit of a lag there, but once it's going, but geez, it was like a bit of almost like 2-second lag there. Yeah, sort of like it needs a bit waking up. So if you are looking on, definitely take it on the open road. If you are doing that, I'm sure around town you will not need to worry, but that is if you're looking to overtake someone. It is a small engine. Some people probably think I'm being too fussy, but some of these little turbo cars in that, like the Kia Stonic I drove, there was a 1 litre turbo, and I personally felt like that was a bit more responsive than this. So right, open speed limit here. That was actually good. Maybe it's just me getting used to how it drives, but actually, you know what? There are probably people saying put it in power. That might be why, because it's in. Well, I personally feel like they did nothing, but it's in power now. I don't know. Maybe it's just me getting used to it. Right, we'll pull over here and do a 0 to 100. Right, let's see what this does 0 to 100. Just reset the draggy. Power. Pretty good pickup actually from the line. Engine started straight away.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
Alright, let's see what we did. So we did an 11.2 for the 8th mile, 0 to 100 in 10.86 seconds. So a little bit slower than a 2 litre Kia Sportage I drove in the last video. So not bad. Not bad pickup at all. It was better than I actually thought, to be honest. Put it back in eco. I gotta admit, it does drive really, really well. I've driven a CX-3. I actually feel it feels more spacious than a CX-3, but I just am a little bit disappointed with the interior for $45,000. It's a lot of money. And just like even a base model RAV feels a bit nicer to be in, really. I mean, it looks good, it does everything well. It's just, I guess, hey, am I being too fussy for someone that doesn't care on the interior? I will say it is easy to use in here. Like, it's not super complicated. I find the navigation hard to work personally, but I'm sure you'll get used to that. It is just typical Toyota. It just feels like it does everything good. It feels solid. I actually feel very safe in here. I don't feel like I'm in a small car. It doesn't feel tinny, it feels solid on the road. So I really can't fault it for that. And just knowing you have Toyota's reliability, resale, yeah, it does. You just really have to factor it in. You are paying more from the get-go, but I find in New Zealand anyway, it could be different overseas, but your resale is just phenomenal. Used ones of these, like this is going to be around $35,000 on a dealer's yard, maybe even 36. So, you know, in 4 years, you're kind of talking $2,500–3,000 a year in depreciation, which, you know, depreciation isn't fun on any car, but some cars are a lot more than that. 90 to 100, foot down. Yeah, it's really not bad. I mean, it's not the type of car that I feel like RAV4's got a lot more pickup hybrid, but then that has a 2.5 litre. This is just sort of the demographic this is trying to get. I feel like it's older people, or maybe I personally don't really feel like it feels like a younger person's car. I feel like I'd probably go a CX-3 or a Sonic if I was a younger person. There's a bit more style to it, but yeah, it's absolutely fine. Driving on these country roads, I will give it that. It feels a lot bigger than it actually is. Revs there going up about 4,000, and you do hear a bit of that rumble of that 3-cylinder, but a lot of the small cars now are, you know, a little engine, so you know, the Kia Stonic 1 litre.
All traffic regulations.
It's really annoying. So my only really gripes on this car is definitely that. You can probably turn it off. I don't know how to, but I'm sure you can. And is the interior sort of feel and look of it. But other than that, and the price, new price expensive, but other than that, very nice little car to drive. I'd be very happy driving one of these as a daily, and I'd feel
Please obey all traffic regulations.
safe and comfortable going on longer trips even. Fuel economy, after, you know, putting my foot down a few times, it's gone up from when we first started the video, 4.1 to 4.3. So I think it'd be pretty easy to get under 5 litres per 100 in this car. And yes, you can run on 91. Some cars these days you have to run on 95. Being there's no turbo on this, you can run it on 91 octane. Alright, pull over here and see what our verdict is. Pull the handbrake up, turn it off. Well, that is the Toyota Yaris Cross. So if you're looking at small cars, definitely take one for a drive and have a look at it. As I said, my only complaints is the interior quality doesn't feel up to the Mazda CX-3 or even the Kia Stonic, but for a price point it is a very good looking car, and well worth a look because it does drive really well. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and we'll see you next time.